Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays live show here on our YouTube channel. Joining me, as always, we have Trey Trends and Seth Stacks. We're going to break down some of the games for Saturday, the bigger games in college football. We also have the Dog of the Week. Didn't do very well in the Dogs last week, but we're going to be barking this week. And the Parlay Lock is back as well, 4-0 in college. We're looking to go to 5-0. So let's get right into it. We're going to break down 6 games. We're going to start with Florida versus Kentucky. Really good game. Kentucky minus 1.5. Over-under set at 44. Seth, I'll have you start with this one.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to lean Florida here to cover the spread. The strength of schedule so far for Kentucky has worried me. They've played Ball State, Eastern Carolina, Akron, and Vanderbilt. The Gators have also dominated this matchup for decades and just lost a 31-game winning streak in 2018. Kentucky is now looking for their third win in a row against Florida, but I don't see that here. Florida's defense has been the huge story this season. They rank 5th in the nation. They rank 5th in the nation, only allowing 244.8 yards per game. This Kentucky offense hasn't faced a defense that is anything like Florida in this game, so I do look for Florida's defense to dominate Kentucky here. All Graham Mertz is going to have to do for Florida is not turn the ball over, guys. Just don't turn the ball over. They have the run defense or the run offense, the 2 running backs to control this game and control the clock. Florida's defense is great. They're going to get the ball back in Florida's offense's hands a lot. So Graham Mertz just needs to play a steady game, just about like he did against Tennessee. He didn't do anything too negative, and they won that game. That's what he's got to do here. Take care of the ball, get the ball to your running backs, and let the Florida defense eat in this game. Florida should win this one.
Yes, Seth, we're gonna not pick the same right off the bat. I like Kentucky in this game. I'm gonna take them on the money line. I think Florida's playing really well, like you said, but they had the game against Tennessee where they dominated really in that game. They dominated Tennessee. They have a really good rush defense this season. They haven't allowed anybody to go for over 100 yards, but I really like Kentucky with Devin Leary, the transfer from NC State. The offense for Kentucky has been moving the ball well this season. They're scoring it well, and we usually can't say that about Kentucky. The defense is still there. They're still hanging tough. I think Kentucky does enough in this game. Give me Kentucky on the money line. Home in this game. I like Kentucky. Trey?
Yeah, guys, make sure you drop who you think will win this game as well. Throughout this video, we're going to be going over all the big games, so I want to see what everyone else thinks is going to be happening. But this game's going to be pretty entertaining to watch. SEC conference games are always entertaining. Florida, they enter this game 3-1, but are 1-3 ATS. Kentucky, they're 4-0 and are 3-1 ATS. So give me Kentucky here on the money line. I'm going to go with Bear here. I'm going to side with him. Kentucky, they've won this game 2 straight seasons. I expect them to make it a third here. And also, like Bear said, Devin Leary, he's been a great addition to this Kentucky offense, and I expect him to have a great game here versus Florida. The Florida offense is just nowhere close to being comparative to this Kentucky one. Kentucky, they're averaging 38 points per game. Meanwhile, Florida, yes, they've played a little bit better teams than Kentucky has, but they're only averaging 28 points per game. So give me the home team here and the more high-powered offense. I'm going to take Kentucky on the money line.
Yeah, this does feel like a game, though, that's going to come down to the last possession. So it should be a fun watch tomorrow. But let's move on. We have USC minus 21.5 versus Colorado. Over-under is 73.5. I'm going to start. I'm going to watch this game tomorrow. I was right about Colorado last week. Oregon made them look foolish. I do think Coach Prime's going to have his guys ready to play this game, and I really don't think USC is that good. They have a higher rating. They have the best quarterback in the nation, but the defense is horrendous. I was going to put a max wager, however many units you want to say. This was going to be a 20-unit wager for me on the over in this game. Things didn't work out with Temple the other night, so I'm going to make it a 10-unit wager on the over 73 points scored in this game. If you need a side, I'd lean towards Colorado with the points. I know I bashed Colorado pretty hard last week, but Colorado's going to be able to score on this USC defense. That defense is really bad. I think Colorado finds a way to stay in this game. I do think USC is going to win the game, but it's not going to be by 3 touchdowns or more. So I like Colorado on the spread, but my play is going to be the over in this game. Seth, what about you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna side with you on the over points. I do think there'll be a lot of points to go around in this game. We all know that Colorado's defense is absolutely terrible, and they basically let Oregon do whatever they wanted on offense. And I think with Caleb Williams, this USC offense should be able to put up quite a few points on Colorado as well. What worries me, though, is how bad Colorado looked on offense last week. Trey and I talked that offense up, and they did not do well. The Colorado offensive line looked lost against blitzes that Oregon was bringing. Shedeur Sanders had no time to throw. If USC watches any of the film, they should just start blitzing because this Colorado offensive line won't hold up. I can't go I can't take Colorado after last week. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I do like the over points here, but I cannot do it. I think USC is going to score way too many points here for Colorado to keep up. I know USC's defense isn't Oregon's, but they're still a cream of the crop in the Pac-12 here. USC is. So I'm going to favor USC in this one.
Trey?
Yeah, call this an overreaction. I really do not care, honestly. I'm going to buy a full point and take USC here, minus 20.5. It's minus 135. I absolutely love this play. USC, they're 10-0 straight up in their last 10 games versus Colorado. They've been dominating this matchup throughout its history, and nothing should be different in this game. I'm not worried about this game being at Colorado either, because last time Colorado had a home game, they needed overtime and an amazing second-half comeback to beat Colorado State. In USC, I'll just say they're just a little bit better than Colorado State, but just kidding. This USC offense is going to absolutely destroy this Colorado defense. Their rush defense is absolutely abysmal, and USC, their starting running back averages 8.9 yards per carry. That's going to be double digits in this game. Give me USC to dominate this throughout. I'm taking them minus 20.5.
Yeah, you both are on USC big. Last week you were on Colorado. You don't think Coach Brown's going to have his boys ready? Let me ask you this first. Do you think USC is better than Oregon?
Yes, USC is really good.
No, I think Oregon.
I think you're just a hater on USC. I mean,
No.
USC is really good. Their offense, Caleb Williams is easily the best quarterback in the nation. Their offense, Lincoln Riley is probably a top 3 play caller in college football. Yes, their defense is not overly good, but like Seth said, they're still top end in the Pac-12.
Not overly good. They're one of the worst defenses in the nation.
Yeah, but if they just watch a little bit of film, they're going to know how to attack that Colorado offensive line.
All right.
Guys, drop below who you guys will be taking. I know this is a polarizing matchup. There's a lot of people who go either way. I was Team Dion, Team Prime last week and throughout the season, but you cannot bet on this Colorado team after watching them play. Like you cannot put your hard-earned money, your cashola on Colorado. No chance.
No, I'm not going to take Colorado spread. I'm going to take the over, but I think Colorado.
I mean, you can't even like their offense looks so bad.
Yeah, I know, but I still think they have a shot. I mean, they're going to be able to do whatever they want on USC. Oregon's a different breed of defense. They have a really good defense. Anyway, we're moving on. Let's get into the big game here. KU versus Texas. Texas, is it minus 16.5 still, over under 61.5? Trey, how do you start?
Yeah, it's at minus 16 right now. I just laugh at the big game just because I think this game is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Yeah. Give me here Texas to absolutely smash their over 38.5 team total. Seth, I'm sorry, brother. Your team's going to get a 40 burger put on him in this game. Quint Ewers, he is just absolutely elite. He's really blossomed into a really good pure passer. He averages 259 passing yards per game, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on the season. I expect them to play turnover-free football in this game and absolutely slice and dice this KU defense. KU has not played a single decent offense. BYU was the best offense they played, and they were hurt going into that game. And they're going to get introduced to what an elite offense looks like. Texas is not going to be sleeping on this KU team. KU walked into Austin a couple seasons ago, beat them. This is the last matchup. They're not going to want to end this on a bad note. Texas over 30.5 team total.
Yeah, Trey, you said it perfectly. Everything you said was great. I really like what Kansas has been doing over the last couple of years with Leipold there, the Buffalo guy, action, talent, grit, bringing him in as a head coach. The only problem in this game is Texas this season is not Texas like from seasons before. This is a new Texas team. They have actual NFL talent on this team. A number of the players on this team will play on the NFL on both sides of the ball. They have a very well-balanced team that's going to put up 50 points on Kansas, and I do think Kansas will find a way to score at least 21 on Texas because Daniels is an elite talent. He's really good talent, but there's no shot that Kansas stops Texas in this game. I'm going to take Texas minus 16.5. I also like their team total over, Trey. You nailed it, and I think the over is going to hit as well, but I'm not going to give it out. Texas minus 16.5 and Texas team total will be my 2 plays. Seth?
Yeah, guys, call me biased. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think you guys are underselling this KU offense completely. Even Steve Sarkisian said all you have to do is watch them on film. Like, because everybody's like, are you guys just using KU as a tune-up game for Oklahoma? He said, absolutely not. He said, just watch them on film, and you'll see why this team has a different buzz around them. I know you guys are like, especially Trey. Trey's like lukewarm KU fans. I get it. I'm not going to listen to him because he's a K-State fan. So I get he hates KU fans. So we're just going to go with that. But I think I like the over here. Yes, you're right. I do think Texas will absolutely obliterate this KU offense, but I think we're underselling or they'll obliterate KU's defense, but I think we're underselling KU's offense here. Like Bear said, Jalen Daniels is elite. this KU team does figure out how to put up points. They're averaging 463 yards per game. That ranks them 25th in the nation. So I do think KU can go punch for punch with Texas. I'm not saying KU is going to win. I'm not taking KU on the money line here, guys. I'm saying this KU offense is legit. They're going to put up some points in this game. They were losing 41-0 at one point last year. It's not going to be the same type of game in this one. I think Lance Leipold's going to have them ready. I think there's a different buzz around this KU team. They're covering that spread. They're not beating Texas. They're covering the spread, and we're going to get a very high-scoring shootout game here.
Yeah, I like what you said. I am a KU fan myself, but I think Texas is going to destroy them. I do like Lance at KU. Man, I wish they weren't playing Texas this week because they started the season off pretty good, but they're going to get obliterated in this game. But let's move on. We've got Georgia -14 going to Auburn, over under 45.5. Seth, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, guys, I'm just going to favor Georgia here on the spread. Georgia has won each of its last 26 games in September. They have covered the spread in each of its last 6 games as favorites versus Auburn. Then on to Auburn, who has lost each of its last 11 games as an underdog. Auburn has also failed to cover the spread in 9 of its last 10 September games. I know Georgia has struggled slightly the last couple of weeks, but they are the number 1 team in the nation for a reason. I think they will make easy work of Auburn in this one. I'm not that worried about Auburn, who got blown out last week. So I do like Georgia here on the spread.
Let me hear it, Trey. It feels like you're going to pick Auburn.
Well, listen here. I don't know why this spread isn't a massive spread. Auburn, like Seth said, has not looked great at all this season. They needed a Jaden Ott injury to beat Cal in week 2, and they're going to go up against the buzzsaw in this game. I'm actually not going to be attacking a spread. I'm going to be going back to the team totals here because buckle in, guys. I'm going to take their Auburn's under 14.5 points. This is absolutely juicy, and this might be my play of the weekend because listen here and listen closely. Auburn has not scored over 14 points against Georgia since 2017. Over that span, they've only averaged 9.5 points per game against Georgia. That's no bueno. And Auburn, they've only scored over 14.5 points against Georgia since 2014 one time. And that was 9 years ago, guys. So I expect Georgia's defense to absolutely come this game and carry that tradition forward. Shut out Auburn if you can. Hold them to single digits like you guys always do. Give me Auburn to score under their 14.5 team total.
Yep, Trey, I love it. I know that a lot of people are looking at this game and thinking, well, maybe Auburn gets the upset here. Georgia hasn't looked very good all season long. I watched them 2 times this season. Both times the defense didn't look like themselves from years before, and the offense didn't look great. However, there will be no upset in this game. I think Georgia wins this one by 35 points. Auburn cannot move the ball offensively. They just can't do it. They scored 10 points last week against their first team, the first real team they played, Texas A&M. They scored 14 points against Cal a couple weeks ago. Here is my bold take for the game. Trey kind of mentioned it. The Auburn Tigers at home, they're going to get shut out by Georgia. Georgia wins the game 35-0 on the route. Auburn just can't score. It's simple as that. They can't move the ball. I know Georgia hasn't looked great this season, but they are the way better team. Give me Georgia in a blowout against Auburn as my play. Let's move on. Big game here. LSU -2.5 versus Ole Miss, over under 68.5. Trey, I'll start with you.
Yeah, and I'm pretty pumped to watch this game. It's going to be a pretty interesting one because both these teams, they're entering it with a 3-1 record. But I'm going to be taking LSU here on the money line -135. The Tigers, they came in this season with a ton of expectations, and I expect them to back it up in this tough road game because LSU, they have absolutely dominated this matchup historically. They've won 7 out of the last 9 games, but it does worry me that the only 2 wins Ole Miss has been at Ole Miss. But I think the Rebels are going to be coming this game just a little bit flat after their rough second half against Alabama last week. Both these teams, especially their defenses, have not looked great this year. But this total is just too massive for me to want to take that because I do think there's going to be a ton of points, but 68 is a lot. But give me LSU here on the money line -135.
Yeah, Trey, I like it, Seth.
Yeah, guys, and I am just going to say this. I was the only one to go against Ole Miss last week on our live show. I was the only one in favor of Alabama, and I'm going to go against them again here. I'm going to take LSU here on the money line. I have yet to find myself being able to trust Jackson Dart in this Ole Miss offense, but one QB I do trust that has been lining it up is Jaden Daniels for LSU. He's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the nation, and I look for him to continue his hot streak here in this game. The biggest question in this game will be, can LSU defense get off the field and answer this? But as I mentioned, I don't trust Jackson Dart. I do not trust this Ole Miss offense. They will get off the field, and LSU should win this game fairly easy. I just do not like this Ole Miss team. Everybody thought Ole Miss was going to have their way with Alabama's defense, but you know what? Alabama stepped up in that game. I just don't think Ole Miss's offense is good enough to even compete in this game.
Yeah, you guys got me a little scared, honestly. This is going to be a game I'm going to watch no matter what tomorrow. It starts at 5 p.m. Central. I have this as my free play on YouTube. I have this as a parlay lock in a little bit that we're going to get to here in a little bit. The play is going to be LSU on the money line against Ole Miss as they go to Ole Miss and win this game easily. I have the stat that you need to know in this game, and I'm not going to say it. I'm going to save it for the parlay lock. So stay tuned for that. The stat is amazing. The up front for LSU, they're going to win this game up front for LSU on defense and offense. The Tigers will be getting pressure on Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, and then they will just let Daniels do their thing. LSU, they're going to let Daniels do his thing. He's the electric player. He's the 9th best passing attack in the nation. I am open and honest about it. Seth said it last week. I thought Ole Miss would give Alabama a good game. I thought they would win because I don't think Alabama is very good. Alabama dominated that game, and it still showed me Ole Miss is not a good team. Alabama, not very good. Ole Miss, very bad. LSU, after losing to Florida State, is on the revenge tour, and this is just another tick off their schedule for LSU as they continue to dominate the SEC. LSU defensively shuts down Ole Miss, and the offense thrives for LSU. LSU big in this game, so we're sweeping the board there with LSU on the money line. Let's move on to the last game. It's going to be Notre Dame, -5.5 versus Duke, over under 52. Trey, I'll start with you.
Yeah, and I really expect this game to be entertaining. I'm going to be taking the home team here. I'm going to buy a full point, and it's not going to be, honestly, that much more juiced. It's only -129 to buy that full point to +6.5 for Duke. And that 6 number is huge because there's 2 field goals or a missed PAT. We see that all the time in college. So I'm going to take Duke here at that 6 number because I think Notre Dame's going to come in this game a little bit angry. But Duke, they've looked really good this season. And with this being a home game, I think that's going to help keep this game close because we saw how lively that Duke crowd can get whenever they rush the field week 1 against Clemson. Riley Leonard, he should continue to play turnover-free football. He's been absolutely elite for Duke this year, and he should catapult us into a cover here. So give me Duke because they've been elite over their last 10 games, 9-1 straight up, 8-2 ATS. So Duke on the money line, or Duke here +6.5 against Notre Dame.
Trey. This is going to be a fantastic game between Duke and Notre Dame, but Ohio State, like they always do, they ruin the fun for everybody. So now this is going to be a shit show, Trey. I really wanted to take Duke because I thought Notre Dame would beat Ohio State. They would come in and not take Duke seriously, but since they lost to Ohio State, they're going to come into Duke and dominate this game from first kickoff to last snap. I think Duke is a fine team. Like you said, they started the season 4-0, and they got a monster win against Clemson in the first game, but now we know Clemson's not that good. The Duke offense, not that great either. They moved the ball fine, but I haven't seen anything overly exciting from them. Notre Dame has their quarterback now, Sam Hartman. He's going to do whatever he wants in this game. The Notre Dame defense kept Ohio State to really 10 points the entire game until the final snap. They have an incredible defense over there at Notre Dame. This just feels like a game Notre Dame's going to come off a really hard loss. They're just going to put all of their anger into Duke. They don't deserve it, but that's what's going to happen. Notre Dame is also 9-1 against the spread against the ACC over the last 2+ years. Notre Dame wins this one easily. Couple touchdown game for Notre Dame. Seth?
Yeah, sorry, Trey. I'm with Bear on this one. Duke's biggest strength is their run game. And Notre Dame's front 5 should dominate this game. Very, very good. I mean, their front 5 is going to be able to stop this run for Duke. I know Riley Leonard's an awesome story. He didn't even start playing QB until his junior year in high school. Now he's playing pretty good. But Bear said it all. Notre Dame's going to be pissed. Ohio State went in there, won in heartbreaking fashion. But Notre Dame didn't even play that good in that game. What we don't realize, their offense looked awful in that first half. This Duke defense is not Ohio State. I'm sorry. And I'm going to continue to say it. I love what Notre Dame did by bringing in Sam Hartman to lead that team. So I'm just going to leave Notre Dame here. They should win this one pretty easy.
All right, Notre Dame, and Trey is the only Duke. Trey, we doing the parlay lock first? We doing the dog of the week first?
Let's wait to give out the parlay locks. I know that's what everyone came here for.
All right, let's do the dog of the week. Who we starting off? Is it me up front?
Oh, yep. You're up top with 2 wins right now. Oh, actually, the guests are winning right now with 12 points. You're in second place.
You know what? I'll take the first place, though, since we're only 3 on here. But I'm going to go first since I'm in first place. That's what I do. I like the UConn Huskies here to get on the board with a win against Utah State. UConn has been tested so far this season. They played NC State early. They are just coming off a game against Duke. And they played Georgia State, a pretty solid team. FIU, another pretty solid team. I like UConn in this game because I don't think Jim Moore is going to allow his team to start 0-5. He's a fantastic coach. And this is a good spot for UConn to get a win at home in a game they're not supposed to win. The schedule after this game doesn't look great for UConn either. So I really think they need to win this game today to get a for sure win on the board this season. I think they're going to run the ball a lot in this game, take down the clock, and should be a pretty gritty performance from the Huskies. They want to slow down the game for sure. Utah State, the Aggies rank 110th in the nation against the run, and that's going to play right into UConn and what they want to do. The Utah State Aggies also have been relying on the pass game this season, and surprisingly enough, the Huskies, 40th against the pass in the nation. Give me a ground game with a good secondary and a team that is desperate to put a win on the board at home. UConn, money line, plus 200 as my dog of the week. Trey, who's your dog?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arkansas here. I really love our chances for Arkansas to pull off the upset win here versus Texas A&M. Neither of these two teams have really looked overly impressive so far this season, but both teams, they're entering this game with significant injuries to important positions. Texas A&M, they lost their starter, Connor Wegman. He's out for the season with an ankle injury. And Arkansas, they're down their best player, their stud running back, Raheem Sanders. He's questionable for this game, so he might play. But even if he doesn't play, KJ Jefferson should do enough to lead us to a win here. But the main reason why I love Arkansas in this game is because I think this game, it smells like a trap game. Oh, it's a trap game written all over it. You know why? Because Texas A&M, they play Alabama next week. So maybe Jimbo going up against his former coach, former rival, and his boys might be looking past this Arkansas team. So give me Arkansas here to win on the money line. It's plus 195, and they're 6-point underdogs.
Yeah, Trey, I love that one. I love KJ too. I think he's a great quarterback. Seth, round us out.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to a Big 12 matchup, and I'm going to take Houston over Texas Tech in this game. Houston's QB Donovan Smith is familiar with playing at this stadium as he started I'm going to go back and say Houston is going to be playing this game on the road. And their QB Donovan Smith is familiar playing in the stadium as he started quite a few games for Texas Tech last season before transferring this offseason. I'm honestly not fully sure why Texas Tech is favored in this game as they are 1-3 so far this season and just lost their starting QB, Tyler Schau. On top of that, Donovan Smith, now Houston's QB, was benched by Texas Tech last season for Schau. So I look for him to come into Lubbock and light it up as this Houston offense got things figured out last week after struggling the game prior. I think Houston is the better team here, and it's even better that they are underdogs because they should go into Lubbock behind a motivated Donovan Smith and win this game.
All right, guys, those are the dogs of the week. Let's do the parlay lock. We are 4-0 this season in college. We're looking to go 5-0. I'm going to go first. It's going to be LSU to get the job done against Ole Miss and beat them on the money line. I said I had some stats, and here they are. I already broke down the game. I told you exactly how LSU is going to win this game. They're going to rely on the guys up front on defense to get to Jackson Dart. They're going to protect Daniels on offense. They're going to let Daniels be an athlete. He's going to throw for 300-plus yards in Ole Miss. Here's the stat for Lane Kiffin. Many people would call him a good coach. Trey, Seth, do you think Lane Kiffin's a good coach?
Hell no. He got fired by my Raiders. He didn't. Al Davis said, I ain't letting you get back on this plane.
That's biased. Seth, tell me if Lane Kiffin's an okay coach.
I mean, he's feasible.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to call him a fraud altogether. In his career as a head coach, he has a record of 1-19 against Power 5 teams that went on to win at least 9 games on this season. That means whenever he plays good teams, he loses nearly every time besides one. LSU is a Power 5 team, and I also think they're going to win 9 games this year easily. I don't think they're going to lose again on the revenge tour. The other stat is Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin has a record of 3-7 against teams that finished in the AP top 25. He wins games against bad teams. He loses game against good teams. I have LSU under the category of a good team. LSU on the money line as my parlay lock. Trey?
Yeah, and I'm going to be going with Rice here, minus 2.5. I really love this line for Rice. I'm going to be buying a full point because it's out at minus 3.5. But I think Rice here is just head and shoulders the better team because Eastern Carolina, they've not looked very good. And Rice, they have a lot better playmakers. They're led by former USC, Georgia, and West Virginia quarterback JT Daniels here. And they also have Christian McCaffrey's brother as their best skill player in Luke McCaffrey at their wide receiver. And those two have such a dynamic connection because McCaffrey, he averages almost 100 yards per game, 92.5 on 5 catches, and averages 1 touchdown per game. And that's even including 1 game going up against the elite Texas defense. So give me Rice to here to absolutely dominate this game. They should easily win by a field goal.
I love that. Seth?
Yeah, and I'm going to go to Boston College's money line in this one against the University of Virginia. Virginia is 0-4 this season, whereas Boston College is 1-3. But their record is super deceiving, in my opinion, as they have a really talented dual threat quarterback in Thomas Castellanos, who has thrown for 909 yards, 8 touchdowns, while also rushing for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. Castellanos and this Boston College offense should have their way in this game against a Virginia defense who is giving up 37.8 points per game this season. Virginia has also lost 10 of its last 11 games, and I do feel like Boston College has the better offense and team in this game. Boston College put up a big fight against Florida State a couple weeks ago, and Virginia just makes too many boneheaded mistakes for me to favor them here. Last week, they ended up losing on 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. It was just rough to even watch that happen. Like I said, I think this Boston College offense is going to take care of business in this game against a very bad Virginia defense. So just give me Boston College on the money line as my lock.
All right, there it is. The parlay lock plus 357 this week. Looking to go to 5-0. Guys, that's going to do it for our live show tonight. We appreciate all you guys who tuned in and watched. Make sure you catch our videos tomorrow. We have an MLB video and a college football video coming out for our plays on Saturday. Also, check out the website. We have a lot of free plays on our website up for grabs, bearsprofitplays.com. Go check that out. And again, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow on those videos. Everybody have a good night, all right? Peace.